Hello students, a very good evening to all of you. Welcome to my channel. This is a very important class on modern playwrights, and today we will talk about two playwrights, John Arden and Caryl Churchill, who are often discussed among the list of minor modern dramatists. But before starting, I want to give you a brief introduction about myself. My name is Prishti Mukherjee. I have qualified NTA UGC NET exam in English literature 3 times and have also qualified West Bengal SET examination. I have 2 years of teaching experience. Moreover, I have also topped in NPTEL online course from IIT Madras 3 times. So that is all about myself. Good evening, Shupriyo. Good evening, Shubhangi. Good evening, Javed. Good evening, Rajkishore. Welcome. So जो भी स्टूडेंट्स वीडियो को देख रहे हो एक बार प्लीज लाइक एंड शेयर कर देना ताकि और भी स्टूडेंट ज्वाइन कर सके. And this is the link of my Telegram channel. So those of you who have not joined yet, please join to get notification of all important classes. And also please don't forget to like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel so that many more new learners can join. Good evening, Mukesh. Welcome. These are the timings of the classes Monday to Friday at 8:30 p.m. Saturday, Sunday off. So don't forget to join me live. Please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get notifications. Okay, so let's start today's class. The first dramatist which we are going to discuss today, that is John Arden. 1930 to 2012 is his timeline. He died very recently, John Arden, and these dramatists, John Arden, Shelley Delaney, Caryl Churchill, they are often considered as minor modern dramatists. So बहुत ज़्यादा details नहीं है, but some plays are obviously important, which may be asked in your exam. Okay, yes, Top Girls is also there in our syllabus, right? So Top Girls by Caryl Churchill, that is the only one famous play written by Churchill. Okay, so first of all, we will look at John Arden, 1930 to 2012. Good evening, Rupali. Welcome. We will start with his biographical details. John Arden was born on 26th October 1930 at Barnsley in London. He was educated at Sedbergh School in Cambria, and he was the son of the manager of a glass factory. So very basic details about his life. He later educated at Cambridge and Edinburgh College of Art and studied architecture. So he was educated in art and architecture also. And as a dramatist, he worked at Royal Court Theatre of London. This is important. He worked at Royal Court Theatre of London as a dramatist. He started his career as a dramatist in that Royal Court Theatre. Okay, and he was also the chairman of the pacifist magazine जिसका नाम था Peace News. So this kind of questions often come that match the writers or the dramatists with their respective magazines. So remember that John Arden is associated with the magazine Peace News. Okay, and he has also written one novel, that is Silence Among the Weapons. That is the title of the novel, and that was shortlisted for Booker Prize in 1982. Very important information that though he was mainly studied as a dramatist, he has also written a novel, Silence Among the Weapons, which was shortlisted for Booker Prize in 1982. Good evening, Kyra. Welcome. And he also became a member of Royal Society of Literature. So these are basically his biographical details, not very grim and grave details also. So very lesser known dramatist, and only important thing is that his one novel was shortlisted for Booker Prize, and he worked at Royal Court Theatre of London as a dramatist. Okay, so that is about his biographical details. Now I move on to his important plays. All the plays of him are not important. Only one important play is there, Sergeant Musgrave's Dance, published in 1959. That is the only famous play written by John Arden. But he has written some other plays also. We will also discuss that. So first important play, Sergeant Musgrave's Dance, published in 1959. And from the title you can guess that it is talking about a soldier. Okay, so army, war, these are the major themes of the works of John Arden. So Sergeant Musgrave's Dance, published in 1959. Is always important. Subtitle is an unhistorical parable. Very interesting subtitle, an unhistorical parable. So remember that. Now, what is the basic plot? Good evening, Rakesh. Welcome. What is the basic plot of the play? Obviously, Sergeant Musgrave is the main protagonist, and he and his three privates. Three private means three other army officers. Hurst, Sparky, and Attercliffe. They are the three other army officers. So all of them are actually deserters from a foreign imperialist war who arrive at a coal mining town in northern England in 1879. So that was basically the setting of the play. Coal mining town in northern England in 1879. ओके सो सर्जेंट मास्क्रेव एंड उसके साथ और भी तीन आर्मी ऑफिसर्स थे, हर्स्ट, स्पार्की एंड एटरक्लिफ. दे ऑल हैव deserted from a foreign imperialist war and they finally came to a coal mining town in 1879. Later, they meet a foul-mouthed individual here who is very abusive in nature. A foul-mouthed individual. They meet them, and finally they come to an inn. In that inn, the soldiers meet Mrs. Hitchcock, a famous lady who is actually the manager of that warden. The manager of that inn. And Mrs. Hitchcock talks about a dead soldier, Billy. So Hitchcock informs them that one of the soldier is already dead, jiska naam hai Billy. Now, here the crisis of the play occurs, that the death of Billy enrages the soldiers most, and the violent incident follows where 5 innocent men were killed to avenge the death of Billy. Now, this puts a serious question mark on the ethics or the values or the patience, you can say, which we must have as a human being. So, is it justified that to take avenge or to take revenge on the murderer? 5 innocent men were killed just to avenge the death of one soldier. Innocent men, they were not guilty, they were not even associated with that death, but still they were killed. So it puts a great question whether war is beneficial or not, whether war does any positive thing or any beneficial thing to mankind or not. So all these kind of crucial questions may come from this particular incident, that to avenge the death of one soldier, Billy, a violent incident follows which killed 5 innocent men. And this incident brings conflict among the soldiers also. So Attercliffe, he is very much shocked listening to that, and he refuses to engage in any other violence. He refuses to participate in any war. Good evening, Papri. Welcome. You are not much late, Papri. We are just discussing the first play of John Arden. Good evening, Cherry. Welcome. So Attercliffe refuses to engage in any other violence, and finally they talk about their different values of life. So that is how the play. That is how the play ends, where the three characters, they are discussing different values of life. And ये values की बात कहाँ से आई? यहाँ से ही आए थे. Because of that incident, it raises serious questions on the issues of war, on the ethicality, or you may say the justification of war. So all these things are associated with that particular incident. And the three soldiers, they are discussing their own views of life and values of life among themselves. Good evening, Risha. Welcome. So this is about the play. Now, John Arden himself said in an interview some details about the play, which I have quoted from Wikipedia. तो ये details हम एक बार देख लेते हैं. You need not to remember that, but I am just telling you out of your interest. तो उन्होंने क्या बताया था about this play? According to John Arden, I think that many of us must at some time have felt an overpowering urge to match some particularly outrageous piece of violence with an even greater and more outrageous retaliation. So Arden is saying that oftentimes in our life also some situation occurs where we have to manage, where we have to balance some kind of outrageous violence with some kind of retaliation. But we must balance, and we are also confused at whether to accept it or reject it. So Musgrave is trying to do that. Sergeant Musgrave, the character in this play, he is also trying to do that. And the fact that the sympathies of the play are clearly with him in his original horror and then turn against him and his intended remedy seems to have bewildered people. So this particular thing, how Sergeant Musgrave is providing solution to the problem, how he himself is bewildered and how his decision bewilder other people. So total confusion is described or is presented through the character of Sergeant Musgrave. और उन्होंने क्या कहा था? This quotation continues. Again, I would suggest that an unwillingness to dwell upon unpleasant situations that do not immediately concern us is a general human trait. Absolutely. So he's saying that we have a sheer unwillingness to discuss about unpleasant situations. So we always try to avoid bad memories. We always try to suppress those horrible memories of ourselves or any kind of disturbing thing. We always trying to suppress that, and that is a general human trait, and it finally results into a kind of indifference to some important attitude or to some important incident. Okay, and recognition of it need imply neither cynicism nor despair. So it is a completely indifferent thing associated with our life. That unwillingness to discuss, that kind of disturbing mental ability to discuss, finally results into an finally results into a kind of indifference associated with the incident. ठीक है, तो ये होता है हमेशा कि जब हम उसको डिस्कस नहीं करते तो ग्रेजुअली क्या होता है, उसके ऊपर एक इंडिफरेंस आ जाते हैं एंड वी डोंट कंसीडर इट इवन अ पार्ट ऑफ आवर लाइफ एट ऑल. So Arden is saying that it is a very common human trait. Complete pacifism is a very hard doctrine. And if this play appears to advocate it with perhaps some timidity, it is probably because I am naturally a timid man, and also because I know that if I am hit, I very easily hit back. And I do not care to preach too confidently what I am not sure I can practice. So that is about the sayings of John Arden. John Arden is saying that I am also a timid man. That is why I cannot explore or I cannot discuss complete pacifism, which is a very difficult thing. Okay, and I am also not confident about that. That is why this play is so ambivalent. This play raises some controversial questions, but I myself am afraid of solving that issues. That is why I am not supporting or not exactly supporting. I am leaving the play ambivalent. So that is the opinion of John Arden regarding this play. You will find this quotation in Wikipedia again, so you can read it by yourself. Moving on to next. Next means he has also written some other plays, okay, but his most important play is obviously Sergeant Musgrave's Dance. So other plays क्या है हम देख लेते हैं. The Life of Man, published in 1956, a radio play which is actually the debut play of John Arden. So this is important, Life of Man. Another radio play is Pearl. Now don't get confused, this Pearl is not associated with that medieval allegorical poetry Pearl. Okay, so it is not a play version of that, right? Live Like Pigs, published in 1958. Waters of Babylon, 1957. This is an important play. Armstrong's Last Good Night, published in 1964, which is based on Scottish theme. And another important play is Left-Handed Liberty, a play about Magna Carta. Left-Handed Liberty, a play about Magna Carta, which is talking about the significance of Magna Carta, which you all know we have discussed in History of English in India. So this play is talking about that Magna Carta, a historical play published in 1965. Okay. So these are the other plays of John Arden. So बहुत ज़्यादा details नहीं है. Only one play is important, that is Sergeant Musgrave's Dance. Okay. With that note, we will move on to our next dramatist and the last dramatist of today's class, that is Caryl Churchill. You have all read Top Girls, I think, which is mostly prescribed in MA syllabus. We also have Top Girls in our university syllabus. So Caryl Churchill's most famous play, Top Girls, ओके, एंड शी इज अ फीमेल मॉडर्न ड्रामाटिस्ट जिसके बारे में हम डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं. So Carol Churchill 1928 to present, she is still alive. Okay, we will start again with her biographical details. So Carol Churchill, पूरा नाम है Carol Leslie Churchill. Okay, she was born on 3rd September 1938 in London. After the Second World War, her family emigrated to Montreal, so Canada. Montreal in Canada. So Canada के साथ भी उनका association है. So Canadian British writer, you may say. So she was born in London, but she later immigrated to Montreal. She studied at Trafalgar School of Girls. Okay, and she was greatly inspired by Bertolt Brecht's technique of epic theater. Very importantly, she was inspired by Bertolt Brecht's technique of epic theater, and she actually employed that particular technique to describe some serious issues on gender and sexuality. So a typical feminist writer who is trying to describe social issues related to women oppression by employing the by employing the technique of epic theater. Okay, so that is why she is experimental in terms of her plays. Next we will move on to her plays directly. So her first important play, Cloud 9, published in 1979. Cloud 9. Now this is an important play. It is divided into 2 acts, and दोनों अलग-अलग जगह में setting है. The first act is set in British colonial Africa, and second part is set in London Park. So 2 parts are set in 2 different countries. So remember that. Now, what is the plot actually? Again, it is also talking about an army officer, Cloud 9. So Clive is the name of a British colonial administrator who lives in Africa. Okay. Now, another explorer is introduced, Harry Baggy. Harry Baggy, an explorer, he also arrives at that particular place. Now, another character appears, Betty. Betty fancies Harry, who secretly has sex with Joshua and later with Clive's son, Edward. So Betty has a kind of disturbing relationship with 2 other people. One is Joshua and another is Clive's son, Edward. Okay, so she has that kind of disturbing relationship, and one is she's actually very much fanciful. Okay, Betty. Now the second act portrays an event 25 years later. It jumps 25 years, and after 25 years what happens, that Betty has left Clive, and Betty has a daughter, Victoria, who is now married to Merlin. Okay, Edward, who is associated with Betty he is now associated with Jerry. Okay, and the second act is basically loosely structured, and there are so many characters, and that is why the plot is also very confusing. Okay, so these are the major characters. तो character का name बहुत ही similar लगेगा because we find these characters in some other works also. But remember, these names are very common: Betty, Victoria, Merlin, Edward. So they are also part of Carol Churchill's plays. Okay, so this is about Cloud 9. Okay, moving on to our next play, Serious Money, published in 1987. The titles are very interesting of Churchill's plays. Serious Money, published in 1987. Now, this play is talking about 2 important characters, Skilla and Jake. They are enjoying upper class status. Okay, so basically Skilla and Jake, they are brothers and sisters, and they are enjoying upper class status. So both of them are member of upper class. Now Skilla decides to find out her brother's murderer. So ये उनका एक quest था. She is trying to find out her brother's murderer. Now during her search, she finds an American woman, Mary Lou Barnes, with whom Jake had dealings. ठीक है, तो वो इन्वेस्टिगेशन के दौरान ये डिस्कवर करता है कि मेरी लू बर्नेस एन अमेरिकन वुमन जिसके साथ जेक का कोई ना कोई डीलिंग्स था. Finally, it is revealed that Greville Todd is actually the murderer, and Todd is sent to jail. Corman appointed as a lord. Corman is another character, and Skilla happily working for Mary Lou Barnes. So जिसके साथ चेक का डीलिंग्स था, उसी के ऑफिस में फाइनली काम मिलता है स्किला को. Okay, so Skilla happily worked for Mary Lou Burness. That is how the play ends. So it's basically a satirical play. It is satirizing the relationship in family. It is talking about the corruption in family, and it is also talking about the mm, quest for climbing social ladder. That is also there in this particular play. Serious money. So money is always a very serious thing. And just to gain money, we can do anything. Money can make us to do anything. That is actually what Churchill is trying to point out. Okay. Now we move on to next important play, the most famous play of Caryl Churchill, that is Top Girls, published in 1982. Top Girls, published in 1982. नाउ टॉप गर्ल्स में अगेन कैरेक्टर है मर्लिन का, जो कि बहुत ही पॉपुलर नेम है, ठीक है. सो मर्लिन इज अ कैरेक्टर हियर. मर्लिन इज एक्चुअली अ लंडन बिजनेस वुमन. नाउ शी गिव्स अ पार्टी इन अ नाइस रेस्टोरेंट टू सेलिब्रेट हर प्रमोशन. उनको एक प्रमोशन मिला है तो वो एक पार्टी ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहे हैं. Now the most interesting fact is that she throws the party for mythical women characters, mythical and legendary, mythical and legendary women characters, जिसमें एक राइटर होते हैं और भी कई सारे कैरेक्टर्स हैं. So this is important that an imaginary party, you may say, or a kind of yes, imaginary party. He throws that imaginary party for mythical and legendary characters. So the characters are not real. Now, what happens in that party? All of them are intoxicated, and in that particular condition, they discuss some abstract ideas. They are giving opinion on some abstract ideas like love, motherhood, relationship. Every idea is associated with woman. तो वो सब लोग इस आइडिया के ऊपर बात करते हैं. Now, later we get an introduction to Marlene also. So Marlene is actually a working woman who works at Top Girls Employment Agency. And the title of the play is taken from that agency, Top Girls Employment Agency. Okay, so very interesting name, Top Girls. And she is interviewing a woman called Ginny. A woman comes for a job interview. तो वो interview ले रही है woman का जिसका नाम है Jenny. Now, Jenny tells that she saves money for her wedding, and Marlene sheerly discourages her to do so, because Marlene is a very independent woman and she always tries to go ahead of patriarchal boundary. Okay, so she is a successful businesswoman. So she also advises Jenny that don't do such things, don't save money for your wedding, but employ that money, use that money to develop yourself, to make yourself independent. That is more important. Now, Marlene's sister Joyce has a daughter, Angie. Here, Joyce is not James Joyce. Okay, this is the name of a lady, Joyce, who has a daughter, Angie. Angie desires to kill her mother. Again, a disturbing family relationship is going on. Now, another thing later is revealed that Marlene has received promotion, but her colleagues don't like that. Her co-workers Will and Neil, they gossip about her promotion, and they are spreading the news that the most prominent and expectant man to receive the promotion was Howard Kidd, but Marlene overpowered that man, and she, in spite of being a woman, enjoyed that position of promotion. So everyone is distrusted with that. Okay. Now, when Marlene received that promotion, Howard Kidd's wife comes to meet Marlene with Angie, and she asks Marlene to leave the position so that Howard can claim it. So this is very interesting. Caryl Churchill is trying to project that when a woman is trying to reach higher in the ladder of society, then patriarchy always tries to bring her down, tries to pull her down back to another submissive position. So when Marlene receives promotion, Marlene achieves a higher status in in her company. Howard Kidd feels very jealous. He considers himself as the most expectant man to receive that promotion. So Howard Kidd's wife also, in spite of being a woman, she comes to tell another woman that leave that position. That position must be deserved by a man like Howard Kidd. So again, that kind of patriarchal, stereotypical notions are being criticized by Caryl Churchill here. Now what happens that Joyce is angry with Marlene for her fancy lifestyle and upper middle class aspirations. Joyce doesn't like that. While Marlene looks down on Joyce for remaining stuck in a working class town and never striving for more. So that is the level, or that is the base of conflict. Joyce is trying to project the image of a traditional woman, okay, so who is just happy with his with her own hometown, and she should not have so much aspiration, so much high ambition. But Marlene is completely opposite. Marlene is always striving for more. She is striving for perfection. She is striving to go ahead in her life, which is obviously neglected by or distrusted by patriarchy. Okay, so Joyce and Merlin, there is a conflict between these two characters. Now, Angie is disturbed with a nightmare and can only say frightening. Angie is haunted with a nightmare, but she can't describe it properly. She only mentions that it is very much frightening. And this particular play is actually written during second wave feminism. Second wave feminism, you all know that feminism has four waves as a movement. I have also told you. So in second wave feminism, women are actually trying to get back their equal rights, in spite of legal rights, in spite of voting rights, and also equal position in patriarchal society. So at that particular moment, Carol Churchill is writing that play, and the title "Top Girls" is also indicating of that girls must be on top. Girls have the potentiality to go on top. Not only the boys, it is also the girls who have the potentiality to go top, who have that kind of enthusiasm within them to perform well. So they should not be criticized always, they must be encouraged. So Churchill is trying to project that yes, girls can also achieve that topmost position like Merlin. So very beautiful play. So many characters, character conflict is also there, but very interesting. So Top Girls is very important. If you have read the text, then it's very good. But if you have don't read the text, then go for a detailed summary of the play, because it is the most important play of Carol Churchill. Okay. Yes. So that is about Top Girls. Now, Carol Churchill has also written some other plays. What are the other plays? Blue Heart, 1997. This is divided into two acts, and दोनों act का दोनों अलग अलग नाम है. This is important. Heart's Desire, first act. Second act is Blue Kettle, and together the play is named as Blue Heart. Another interesting play is Ice Cream, talking about Anglo-American stereotypes. Okay, Far Away, published in 2000, set in post-apocalyptic near future. Okay, so some kind of dystopian novel, you may say. Post-apocalyptic near future. A Number, published in 2002, and Theastus 2001, which is a translation of Senecan Tragedy. Okay, so that is about Carol Churchill. I hope I am clear with the plays, and please read these two plays at least: Sergeant Musgrave's Dance by John Arden and Top Girls by Carol Churchill. These two plays are most important. Okay, so another plays are A Dream Play, translation of August Strindberg's play. August Strindberg has also written Dream Play. This is a translation of that play. Important. And another important thing is that a 10 minutes play, Seven Jewish Children, subtitled as A Play for Gaza. So just remember the titles and basic details of the play, title, subtitle. These are not so important. Only important play is Top Girls. Okay, so that is for today's class. Thank you all for joining. This is the link of my Telegram channel. Those of you who have not joined yet, please join to get notification of all important classes. And also please don't forget to like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel so that many more new learners can join. আপনার ভাইভা কিসের ভাইভা সুপ্রিয়? ভাইভা of what? And these are the timings of the classes. So we will again meet tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. I have not decided the topic yet, but yes, we will discuss another interesting topic tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. So please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get notifications. So thank you all. Bye bye everyone. See you all tomorrow at 8:30 p.m.